us in, babe.
Welcome to
Coco Caliente.
What are you taking?
For
lunch tomorrow.
2 slices of... Did you put out more... Did you take more brats out or no?
No.
Nicole's been trying to feed me brats every day of the week, Monday through Friday.
I just don't know I don't know what to feed him.
I think I've eaten 8 brats this week.
He just likes meat, so I'm like, okay, as long as I can just buy meat. And right now, brats
meat
are
and cookies. That's what she's enticing me with, just meat and cookies.
Well, Victor, that's all you like.
Today I had pizza. I've been... Generally, though, what I've been eating hasn't been terribly unhealthy, honestly. The portion size has been smaller, and I've been running every day. Today, I wanted to be unhealthy because I had a big exam today. And I think I passed my exam. Hopefully, I'm not jinxing myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was...
But so, for tomorrow's lunch, what are you taking? Do you need me to make you a sandwich?
Nicole's been trying to force me to eat egg salad.
I have not been trying to force you. I just love it.
Yeah, you can make me a sandwich.
The Amish made the egg salad, and it's really good.
I am okay without that.
We have to water that little flower. It's dying.
That's the one that I got you.
I know. Pull it down
for
over
Mother's
here,
Day.
so I know that.
So for one of Nicole's Mother's Day gifts, oh my God, it's so dry.
Go water it right now. Hurry up.
What?
Come on.
We'll water it afterwards.
It's so parched.
Yeah. This is what you do to me sometimes. You don't water me. You don't groom me. You don't care for me. You don't put me in the sun. And then I look like this. This plant, so fragile, so frail.
You're ridiculous.
It's losing its petals. It needs... And look, if you shake it, you can feel it's like one solid block inside. It needs hydration.
They all do over there. I forgot.
What are you doing with those plants?
I forgot about them for a little bit. I've been watering my outside ones.
Yeah, and it rained today, so you don't have to water them today.
I know, I love that. I love that for myself.
Right now, we are waiting for one more minute to pass so we can speak with our guest. Our guest is...
Dr. Courtney Tracy.
She is known as the Truth Doctor on all social platforms.
Yeah, she has like 1.6 mil on TikTok.
A million.
Which is pretty crazy. I don't get TikTok, so she's gonna have to teach me a thing or two.
You mean Tic Tacs? Like the little mints?
You're obsessed with TikTok.
It's been a long...
You're obsessed with TikTok.
To be clear... I don't have a TikTok account, right? So I just watch. So you can get TikTok and not have an account and watch TikTok videos.
If TikTok was smart, they'd make you get an account.
But it's perfect for me because I don't.
So you can't like anything, huh?
I can't like anything, and I can't I can't save anything. So that's why.
But you send it to me sometimes.
I can send you a link, and that's it. Or sometimes I'll screenshot it so I can look up the user so I can show you later, you know? So I show Nicole like the...
You do find some good ones.
The animal videos or funny stuff. There was one... and this has nothing to do with animals. I guess there is some competition
This
show.
is so stupid. This is the stupidest thing ever, and like I'm so sick of watching it.
But it is hilarious. So it looks like, based off the TikTok that I saw, this competition show is you're in a pitch dark room and you have to go up and smell things that you don't know what you're smelling. So you just go up and you smell, you take a guess at what it is, and you either hear a ding, like you got it right, or and you didn't get it right? And you don't know what it is, right? So what we see, as in the TikTok video, is a guy getting ready, right? And he goes and he lets air out, you know, like to be able to take a deep breath. And then you see him go... Take a deep breath, and then when you look, it's a person bending over with their butt cheeks exposed.
It's so not funny.
He takes a big whiff, and it looks like there's like a plexiglass, so he doesn't touch the person, but he can get really close to smell.
Basically, his nose was in his butt crack.
He takes this big whiff, and he goes... Oh my God, he goes, that smells like ass. And then it goes, ding. And you see his face.
Because I think you must just get one sniff, because the way that he really inhaled that, I'm thinking you just get one sniff.
And he looks up like, this can't be real. And it goes slow motion. You can see it in his face like, oh my God, like he didn't want that to be right. You know what I mean? Like he was just making an out loud statement and like going to say his answer afterwards. And he's like, oh my God, that smells like ass. Ding. He's like, oh no.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, we better give her a call.
Yeah. So that was completely off topic, but we hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Courtney. How are you?
Bienvenidos. Este es Víctor Arroyo. Estoy aquí con mi esposa, Nicole Franzel.
Yes, it's me. It's Victor and I.
No, Nicole Franzel Arroyo is what I should have said. Nicole Franzel Arroyo. Anyway, yes, it is Victor and Nicole. I'm sorry. I was just teasing.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, Courtney, you are the truth doctor, also known as the no BS doctor. Where did that come from? Before I even get into anything else, because I saw that and I was like, so where does she get such a unique nickname?
Well, thank you for asking that. I think I lived my life for a really long time seeing sort of a lot of the BS that goes on in this world, because I grew up in a very chaotic household with a very traumatizing family system. And so it honestly was just a lot of BS surrounding me. And so when I became a therapist, I decided to just label all of the stuff that I had and then, everybody else's stuff that I was seeing in my clients as BS. And my job, I feel, as a therapist, is to be no BS, to not do the things that other people do to people, and to help remove the outcomes of all of the BS that everyone experiences.
Do you mean like by BS, like sugarcoating things, or making things feel, I guess, I'm just curious what other what therapists would do. Like
a normal, like what somebody would be like, you know what, I went to my therapist and they were just giving me all these things and I'm talking to you now and you're just giving it to me straight. Is that kind of what you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess an example would be, someone comes to a therapist to discuss anxiety, and all that they really do is continue to listen to the person and learn about their anxiety, and then just keep asking them, so what do you think is going to help you? What do you think is going to help you? And then they're in therapy for years and years and years. And honestly, I feel like that's BS. And I feel like it's like, listen, you tell me about what your anxiety looks like, then I'm going to teach you about anxiety, because that's the only reason I'm sitting here helping you, is because I know all of this stuff about anxiety. I want to give all of that to you so that you don't have to come see me anymore. And I want to do it as quickly as possible.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So I can see how...
So you're not trying to prolong the treatment or try to keep you as a client to make money off of you. If anything, you're trying to get them as help as fast as they can to not have to see you anymore, so they can cope with their stuff and treat their stuff on their own.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess on the other end, just like as a human being, it's kind of like, I mean, I just think that a lot of the things that like parents do, like I'm a parent and obviously I have parents, and just like what employers do. And I've been an employee and I've been an employer for several years. I just really like to acknowledge the humanity within each person, give people permission to be mentally well and be physically well and be their true authentic selves. And as you guys probably know, in just so many units, so many like family units and corporate offices, you're not allowed to be yourself, and you have to be it's a very strict environment. And I think that that's BS too. And that's often why people come to therapy in the first place. It's because they have had all of these people or all of these systems or rules placed on them, and it didn't work out. And now they have depression and anxiety and suicide and trauma. And it's like, I'm helping them get rid of all of that BS. Like, that's not you. You don't have to live by those rules. And let's figure out like who you really want to be without all of that.
This episode is sponsored by Love Every. So Love Every are play kits that are designed by experts for your child's developing brain. You can feel confident you're giving your child the best start with a convenient plan for playtime. They deliver each play kit for your child's exact learning stage so they have the right toys at the right time. Victor and I already got a box for baby A, and there's cute things in there for him through all of the stages from when he's a newborn to when he's 6 months, from like little bit of like puzzles and scratch mittens and like textile rattles and feeling different patterns and things like that. So every 2 to 3 months, they deliver a play kit to your home, and it matches your child's development. So you don't have to worry about finding the right toys for your baby at the right time. And they're very modern and minimal. They believe that simple is better. And so that way that everything looks good in your home. So the colors are very neutral as well. And since they're expert designed, they start at $36 a month. And a lot of customer testimonials have said that it's been such a relief to receive these beautiful age-appropriate toys, that it gives them peace of mind, especially as a first-time mother, which Victor and I are first-time parents as well. So it'll keep us right on track. If you want to check this out, activate free content tailored to your child's age and get a peek inside the play kits at Love Every's website. Visit lovevery.com/Coco, COCO, to get started. That's lovevery.com/COCO to get started.
And just to go backwards a little bit, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 30.
30. So looking through your profile here, you're really young because you're a doctor, right? You have a doctorate degree in clinical psychology from California Southern University. You also have a master's in social work from University of Southern California, and then you also have your bachelor's in psychology.
Yeah.
So you did a lot of stuff in such a short time. What drove you to do all that stuff, and how in the world did you complete it so quickly?
Well, my honest answer as the truth doctor, and my no BS answer, is a lot of anxiety and a lot of trauma. What I did was I decided to essentially self-harm myself by overworking and ignoring my nervous system and riddling myself with anxiety. And I drank and used substances for a really long time, probably like 12 years throughout that whole time, from like 15 to 27. And so I really was just kind of wanting to put my head down and not interact with the world around me, and just do everything that I could to learn as much as I possibly could about why my family was the way that they were, why I had the responses to my family that I had, and why the world is in such a state of distress and suffering. And so I think it was a really positive thing that it was 12 years of higher education from 17 to 29. Yeah. And it was worth it because now I can help people. But looking back, I would tell anyone that's interested in doing or having a similar path to me to just take care of yourself at the same time and make sure that the goals that you are working towards aren't just to fuel like this anxiety or this trauma. Like I just wanted a place to put the anxiety in. Yeah. If anything, it actually just caused me more than less.
Oh, I bet. And when I think about all those years in college, all I could think about is like, I saw a documentary about Adderall, for example. And that seems like they say the only thing that's wrong with Adderall is that it works so well. Like that's the downside because it works so well that you get all the stuff done and more than that you never would maybe otherwise. But then you become dependent on that thing and you don't eat and you forget to sleep and, obviously all the things that come from it and just taking a substance all the time. But, it's things like that, right? That you could drive and have that thing that's going to get you that end goal, but was it worth all this suffering to get there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I worked in addiction for 8 years. And I just stopped actually working in addiction a few weeks ago when I sold the treatment center that I founded and ran as CEO for 4 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But But that's a lot of, I'm glad that you brought up Adderall, because it's not only like substances that people sort of attach themselves to get through life, but we also are addicted to so many other different types of behaviors that people wouldn't even think about, like overworking or staying in higher education for 12 years. And really anything that we can do to not think about the things that we don't want to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about prescription drugs, I know they're having a court case right now, aren't they? With like 3 pharmaceutical companies, I think, that were selling opioids or marketing them more. Yeah. And I can't remember what state it's in. But that's another thing that I think is crazy, how they pump out, because I think the whole thing was they were pumping out these opioids with little regard or regulation behind who was ordering them, and kind of just like feeding the addiction rather than actually trying to get it to hospitals where it could be used for that. I think that's what the whole deal is there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the opioid epidemic is so huge, and it has been at least for the last 15 years. And it only really became prevalent in, I would say, mainstream society when it started hitting the suburbs and when it started affecting the white population. And then all of a sudden, the people in control cared. And so, I mean, that's not good that that's what it took for people to start to pay attention. But what is great is that these people, when they first started marketing opiates, they did not disclose how addictive it was on purpose. And that's part of what they're being sued for. And then not only that, but they waited until everybody got addicted, and then they are the company that also came out with the solution. Oh, you're addicted to our one medication? Well, here's another medication.
Yeah, here's Suboxone. Yeah, let's give you Suboxone now to get you off of your addiction. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's just crazy. And so many questions for you. So things right now, like, do you see addiction, or not addiction, is I guess mental health, is it more prevalent, or is it just more talked about, right? Or is it both? Is it becoming more prevalent and at the same time it's becoming more talked about, therefore you see it more?
I think it's both. I honestly wish that I could answer that question and just say that people are talking about it more. But that isn't true. It is both, because we haven't talked about it for so long, it's gotten worse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I hate to bring this up because I always bring it up.
I know you're going to bring up social media.
Social media. I think that is a driving. I mean, I'm not saying it's a sole reason that it's increasing, but it's definitely a big reason why the younger generation is having more mental health issues, because they're comparing themselves to their peers and people that are older than them, but all around the world, opposed to just in their small environment, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And not only is there comparison, which obviously lowers self-esteem, can make eating disorders happen, anxiety and depression, but the increase in interaction solely on social makes it so that these kids, they don't even know how to interact in person with each other. And so then the substances are even more luring, because it's, well, now I'm not behind a screen anymore. I'm standing in this group of people. I have no idea what to say. I don't have a filter over my face. What if they don't like my clothes? Oh, somebody brought alcohol. Let me take a sip of this. Oh, wow, I feel so much better.
Yeah, that is very true. And I watch documentaries all the time, but talking about like simple things that you would normally learn in any regular kid's life, conflict resolution, right? Which comes from having that conversation with somebody, not just being able to send something through text or a DM, or or being able to say whatever you want without any repercussions negatively to somebody because you want to tease them online, when you might never say that in person. And if you did unknowingly insult somebody, they would react to you and you would either feel embarrassed or you would apologize, or you would taper back what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's kind of, it's freedom to kind of be whoever it is that you want to be. And that could be a good thing, or that could be a really bad thing. And most of the time it really is used negatively. That veil of social media causes a lot of pain for people.
And so what would be your advice to somebody, let's say somebody like me? I don't think I have any mental health issues, right? Let's just say. Maybe I do and I don't know. But let's say I don't want to get to that point where I do, right? I'm going to start on this end and get to the other side, okay? So what can I do for myself, constant maybe practices or things that I could do, incorporate in my life to keep myself healthy, not only physically, but mentally?
That's a really good question. And I wish that question was asked and answered for every child before they become an adult and have to ask that question. And then they likely already have issues going on. But I think that the first thing that comes up to me, or that comes up for me, is like, what tips or tools can I provide? But ultimately it comes down to learning. It comes down to, if you feel like you're in good physical health right now and you're in good mental health right now, then learn about what that means. Like, learn about, if you have the emotion of anger, what's going on in your brain? If you're having the feeling of nausea, what may be happening in your body? And I think educating yourself on how your body and your mind work, since they're not going anywhere throughout the entire course of your lives, and they are the two things that contribute to illness, whether that's mental illness or physical illness, we need to know how we work. We need to know how we work. And I think that growing up, we get, maybe we get like a sex ed class, and we get like a one physical education class, and maybe we take Psychology 101 as an elective if the other elective that we wanted to take isn't available. And then that's it. That's it. And then we're stuck in this body and we're stuck in this mind. And we forget that we can continue to learn about the two things that we need to have in our own control before they get out of control. So really my suggestion is learn, because then you're going to learn about what's going on for you. And that's when you can pick the best tips and tools.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I vividly remember when I was a kid. I mean, I can't remember when exactly, but I know I was a kid. I was really young, and just putting my hands out in front of me like in a movie and like rotating them back and forth and going like, why am I here? Like what is, and then every once in a while as an adult, it's like, why we have to work to get this thing called money to make us, live and be happy. Like, why do things, I don't know, things that just go on in my mind, I guess. But
I want to pause you there, just because when you just said that, I felt like I'm so happy that you said that and that you shared that, because I think a lot of people think those things, but they think that they're weird for thinking them. Like, let's talk about how strange money is. And let's talk about the fact that we have 10 fingers and other animals don't. And why? And our brain is so complex. And what is our mind? Are we our mind? Are we not our mind? And I think that and that's kind of what I mean by educating yourself, because when people are in severe anxiety, or I guess existential anxiety, existential depression, in an existential crisis, those are the types of questions that come up. And if we don't have them answered already, then sitting with the non-answer in our depression, anxiety, or grief, or trauma, it can lead to severe confusion and a desire to not want to be here, because it just feels so unanswered and so ungrounding. So having that education and those answers beforehand. And then you come into anxiety, let's say you start to develop anxiety because you're in a really stressful job, but you know what anxiety is, you know how it may show up in your body, and you know how your body already works. And so when you start to feel it, then you apply the tips and the tools that you've suggested or that somebody else has suggested. So just thank you for saying that, because I think a lot of people don't share.
Absolutely.
That they have those quote unquote strange thoughts that are absolutely normal.
Speaking of which, so Nicole, she's done a lot better. I mean, she had a spot of anxiety for a while, and she was very open about it and talked about it and got advice from a lot of people, and she's been able to do well with it. I mean, she's right here. She can attest to that.
I think I've always had situational anxiety in nursing school. I would get anxious before exams and stuff, but then it would just go away. And then after Victor and I got off of The Amazing Race, I think that was just 30 days of fight or flight, honestly, because we made it all the way to the end. that when I got off, my body didn't know what to do. It didn't know how to relax. And so then I went through, I'd say, a whole year of almost a panic attack a day, not just anxiety, but like a full-blown panic attack in the emergency room. And I couldn't like quite grasp it for the longest time. And I didn't want to have to be dependent on a medication because there is that like stigma, but not only that, like that wasn't really stopping me because I knew my friends were like, it changed my life. I did this, but I just wanted to be more powerful than my anxiety and think that I could control it. But then finally I was like, I got healthier after reading like books on my subconscious mind, and I learned how my mind works and how I can control. And like learning about your subconscious mind, I feel like that I tell everyone to read the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, because it changes everything for you. And then once I got control of it, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get on a dose of medication too. And so now I am on something every day, and I am pregnant, so I switched to another medication that's safe. But so far, 2 for 2, both of them have been wonderful, and it's completely changed my life. And I just tell people, don't even mess around. Like if you think that you need medication, try it, because you can. I tried for so long to fight it, and it just made things worse for me.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like I love that message. There really is a stigma around medication. And to be honest, rightfully so in some circumstances, because just earlier we were talking about people that make medications and that they don't, disclose the things that they should, or like, is this actually going to be helpful for me? Yeah. Why is the doctor prescribing? There's reasons to be concerned, but I think that there's too much of a hesitation, like you said, when it might be needed. And as a therapist, the thing with medication, there's some therapists that are completely against it. And then some therapists that want everybody to be on a medication. And the way that I look at it, at least with, my experience of people literally becoming addicted to every possible addictive medication, is that it's still necessary sometimes. And then the reason why is because it takes time to rewire your brain. And if you are suffering because of the current state of your brain and your body, there's no reason that you need to continue suffering as you're healing. You just don't need to do that. And so, you would talk, anyone listening, like you would just talk to your provider and be like, listen, I don't want to be on this long term. I want a current solution while I'm working on coping skills. And I think people don't realize that. It's like the goal really should be to start medication, get you up to a level that you need to be on. And then once you're there and you're stable, then start applying coping skills. And then once you've really gotten those coping skills down, then you can even start to slowly lower your medication based off of your medical doctor's recommendations as you continue to increase coping skills. So one goes down as one goes up.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. And so I'll just be open. I'm on 25 milligrams of Zoloft right now. And I know that can be used for depression or anxiety, where it targets my anxiety. But I feel like, I don't know if it's the placebo effect or what, but just like taking it, because it is the smallest dose I think that you can take or that'd be effective. But either way, it's worked for me for a whole year. And I'm just like, I don't want to know if it's like, if I stop taking it, I'm like, oh my God, I think if someone switched them, I think in my mind I'm controlling it. But if someone switched them with placebo pills, I'd probably be okay too. But I'm like, so grateful for them that it's just this weird, like, no, don't take me off yet. I'm good. But, and I've never felt like, oh no, I need to go higher. I need to go more. But some of my friends have felt that. And it's just all I think about absorption and stuff in our bodies. And it doesn't necessarily mean that your anxiety is that much worse. It's just kind of like alcohol tolerance. I can have one beer and I'm buzzing and might take 4 for somebody else. So don't be like, I just want to say to anyone out there too, don't feel like, oh no, my dose is so much bigger, that means I'm so much worse. No, I don't think so. It's just different bodies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you said that, because I think a lot of people don't understand that, like, we literally absorb and metabolize medications differently. And so I just love that you said that. Thank you.
And do you know, if they're working on any technologies beyond medication. Like maybe I'd seen a study several years ago about putting like an electrode in the brain to help balance the chemicals in the brain that cause some mental health issues. Is that something, do you know anything about that? Have you read anything about that?
You know, now that you're bringing it up, I definitely remember like hearing something or reading something about that, but I don't know too much about it. I guess what comes up for me when you say that is that a permanent device? And that feels really invasive.
Yeah.
And it also, I feel like, takes away like the power of the person. It's like now your brain really is out of your control, and like it's going to stay that way. It could be kind of scary.
That is, yeah, you're right. I never thought about it like that, and that does make sense. So where can people find you? Where can people look you up? I know you have time out. How did you get so famous on TikTok? How does one psychology doctor amass what did you have, like 1.6 million followers on TikTok?
Yeah, I think it's just from telling people the truth. You know, that's why I call myself the truth doctor. My first viral video, and I really do things differently than other therapists. My first viral video was me dressed in like a black leather outfit and like dancing around to some song that I think it's in a different language, and honestly, I think it has like sexual lyrics, which I had no idea.
Find out after the fact.
Like, girl, do you know what this is saying as you're dancing around in leather pants? And I didn't. But it was super short, and it just said, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but if you stopped not letting your kids feel their feelings, then they wouldn't have to come to therapy to figure out their feelings when they're adults. Kind of like calling out parents. Which I think I think most therapists would be like, I am absolutely not putting on black leather pants and dancing to sexual music and calling out parents on a children's app. But I think that it was really important. I think, most of the comments were from kids saying, thank you so much for showing us that a therapist can understand that there's times when parents really are making us not be able to feel our feelings. And so I think I just make bold statements, and I do, some weird stuff. And I think people are I'm really trying to destigmatize professionalism, because like my generation and the younger generations below me, we are very like hesitant, or many of us are, of certain types of professionals, they sit on the couch, like other therapists, they sit on the couch, they have a very soft voice. They act like, nothing's going wrong in their life, and they're here to just...
Oh, no, you're a doctor. You're a doctor. You have to be of the utmost professional standard. If you're not wearing a suit, of some sort, and no, I totally get what you're saying. I understand that.
Yeah, it kind of like blows my mind. It's like I've never been the kind of person to pretend, and so it's like all the doctors that are wearing the suits, that are wearing the white coats, that are talking in a very soft voice, are then going home, and they might be like throwing back a shot of whiskey, playing some pool, listening to some rock music, and like that's great. And it's like I'm really interested in helping professionals that help human beings realize that they also need to be a human being, because we are mirroring creatures. And if we're the client and we're sitting there and we're like, I'm so messed up right now. I have to be sitting here talking in front of this therapist. I'm super messed up. This therapist looks like she has everything together. That's actually kind of like debilitating. And I think that there's like a comparison that goes on. And if the client can feel like the therapist is a human too, not that we have to share our struggles when we're in the room because our client is paying for their time, but it's important. Like a lot of my videos on TikTok talk about my severe anxiety, and I've listed out some of the traumas that I've been through. All of the comments, besides the people that are like, I can't believe you're sharing this stuff on social media as a therapist.
They're always there, and they'll be there forever.
Oh yeah. But the positive comments are from other therapists saying, I'm throwing away my suits. you are giving me permission to be myself. I never thought that somebody could still express and show that they know exactly what they're talking about and can give ethical and legal care and still be a human being. Mm-hmm. And we need it. We need to stop hiding ourselves. We really do.
Absolutely. And I'll be the first to say, if I come across a professional that I feel is down to earth and I can relate to, I'm going to trust them a whole lot more.
Totally.
Right? If I think you live with this stick up your butt and you like belittle people or look down on people because you're such high and mighty, then it's like, I don't even...
Yeah, I don't want to sit there and talk to someone that I feel like I have to give the whole truth because they're going to judge me or because like they can't relate to it or I feel defensive. Because I've definitely talked to a therapist before, being on 4 reality TV shows this last time. It was like we all had to. And so sometimes it just comes off as, wait, so do I need to defend myself right here? Or how do I follow up this sentence? Like if I give you 2, like, cause what's really crazy is me being so open about my anxiety before I went back on the show for the 4th time. It hurt my chances of going on because they're like, hey, I don't know if you can can you handle this? Wow. And so I was defending myself like, wait, yes, because I shared that publicly and I'm trying to help other people. Now you want to like take away my chance because you don't think I can handle it. And so that was like really annoying and hurtful because you know how many people have it, but they hide it. So you're telling me, okay, if I hid it, I wouldn't have to go through all these hoops, you know? So very frustrating when you think about it. So now whenever I share about my anxiety, I'm thinking, oh no, is this going to keep me from potential opportunities in the future because I'm being open and trying to help people? Yeah. And now I just say, F it. Like, just do it.
It's important. It's important. You're definitely helping people by being honest. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you, in your practice, are you... I know you said you had a treatment center and then you sold that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, are you now just doing one-on-ones or what's your goal now? Like, what is your main focus?
Well, it's been just a few weeks, and so I am just doing social media right now. Okay. My goal is, I mean, I have a license, I could see people, but I feel like what I'm going to be doing instead in the future is not working with clients, but working with therapists and helping them learn how to navigate the legal and ethical world of being a therapist while also being as much of a human being as they possibly can be. Because doing that, I can help many more clients.
Yeah. Post a one-on-one. You're helping one person that's going to help hundreds of people and multiply that. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. Well, we're happy for you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And The Truth Doctor, that's on all socials, right?
Yeah. So thetruthDoctor.com and then _truth_doctor on TikTok and Instagram. And I haven't figured out how to change my YouTube website name yet. So just go to YouTube and search for The Truth Doctor.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you. Definitely learned a lot, and I love the conversation. It's so knowledgeable. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
You too. Bye. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I learned a lot. I love your openness with your anxiety. I really do.
I think now that I've gotten I like to think that I've gotten past it. Mm-hmm. It's easier for me to talk about. When I'm going through it, it's actually hard to talk about because then I realize, oh yeah, crap, like I do have that. Yeah. So now I think if anyone were to ask me, I can answer questions a lot better because I'm not in the fog of having it.
Okay. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So this week would be week in pregnancy.
What is it?
33?
Victor, you just liked my video, put heart eyes on my video
33.
today. 31.
You
don't even read my captions.
Babe, I'm
a really big numbers person.
I was at work today. I saw your video and I saw how beautiful you looked and I just got mesmerized in you. I didn't have to read a caption. I was looking at you. What are we
going to do when this baby glow is gone?
What do you mean?
I'm going to get I'm going to get acne and stuff back.
Nicole, stop it.
We'll have to get pregnant again.
You look beautiful. You're as beautiful today as the day I met you.
Well,
okay?
I mean, yeah. I don't think actually I'm probably not any cuter, right? I'm a lot like what I'm just saying. Why are you looking at me?
Cuter.
No, I'm saying, like. It just makes me feel like I'm glowy, even though...
Oh, the pregnancy you're saying.
Yeah, the pregnancy I'm saying. It makes me feel glowy whether I'm actually glowing or not.
Got you.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a mental thing.
Do you have a weird or normal for us today?
No, I don't.
You don't have a weird or normal?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, weird.
Or...
Normal.
Last night we were sitting on the couch and Victor went in his belly button and then pulled out a piece of lint. Is that weird or is that normal?
Okay, Nick, this is what Nicole does when she can't think of a word.
Time out. Is that normal?
I didn't do that.
Is it weird or normal to find lint in your belly button? He didn't do that.
Okay.
But I did have an anonymous person, Victor, so I was trying to use you.
Well, you could have just said an anonymous person.
Is it weird or normal to find lint in your belly button?
So... I won't say that I have never found lint. So, for example, when you have a hoodie that's like brand new and it like really fuzzy. So I've had lint in my belly button because of that. But I don't think it's normal to regularly have lint. Like, where is this lint coming from?
Do you remember Rugrats?
Mm-hmm. Do you know Rugrats just came back?
Did it really?
I just saw something on I was scrolling through Twitter news or whatever, and it said Rugrats are back, and it's like not the old cartoon. It looks like a 3D cartoon, but it's still the cartoon Rugrats.
So it's still like Tommy and Chucky?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I used to really like that show.
So did I. I used to watch it all the time.
But then if you try to watch it now, it's really terrible.
Yeah, because I tried to watch SpongeBob the other day, and,
You're just way too intellectually, intelligent to enjoy, I feel like, a SpongeBob episode.
Yeah, I used to love that stuff, though. Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, I watched
Boy Genius. I used to
Cat
love
Dog.
that show.
I was a fan of Cat Dog. Hey Arnold was my favorite.
Hey Arnold was a really good one.
Okay, so back to the lint. So I think on Rugrats, I remember when I was a kid, people, I think it was the Rugrats would pull coins out of their belly buttons and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that happening.
Anyways, it just made me think when you're little.
I could see Chucky right now, looking down at his belly button, grabbing something. I can't remember the exact context of what. You know what I remember? I remember one time in Rugrats, Chucky had a pee, but they had to wait because they were going to do this race through the playground, and Chucky wanted to go pee, and they're like, no, you got to do this race. So he's like, okay, and he got ready, and he had to pee so much that he went through the whole thing really fast, and then he went to the bathroom, and he won. I don't know why I remember that.
Oh my gosh, I thought this was going to be a really good story.
Nothing, not deep or intellectual at all.
But that's good that you can remember something that happened in an episode. The only thing I can kind of remember is, do you remember those the green jobbly jellos that the mom would bring out and take to their neighbors? That was a constant thing. What the heck?
I bought, so when Rugrats the movie came out, and it was, what was their green dinosaur monster thing that was also their it was their cart or whatever. Anyway, when that movie came out, I bought the soundtrack, the CD.
No way.
I 100% did. I bought that, and I was so I was so cool. I would just have the soundtrack in my hand.
That is
the CD
so
in
funny.
in the case, and I thought, and one of the songs that was on there was "These Boots Are Made for Walking."
Really?
Yeah, it's just so crazy.
So
I'm not
weird.
even. I'm not even lying. I'm being dead serious.
Huh?
But
how long did you watch Disney and Disney till? Would you say
not Disney,
the Disney Channel
or any? I don't think that was on Disney Channel.
No,
I think that was
on
Nickelodeon.
But I'm just curious. I watched Disney Channel all the way till 16 or 17, maybe even 18.
Not that long.
I was that was what I watched.
I think 8th grade. So 9th grade, I was in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Katrina. I never watched TV. Really didn't have
I didn't watch a lot of TV either, but when I did...
No. It's not that. Like, if I had a TV, I would have watched it. But in Puerto Rico, in my grandma's house, I didn't really have a TV or the channels that I would have over here in the U.S., you know?
So then you just stopped watching TV
like
after
stateside,
that?
not. I know Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., everybody. But, just the island, we didn't have the same channel. So I just didn't watch TV.
But what about after that? Because you watched, so many... I'm saying after when you went back.
Oh, when I moved back to Louisiana.
Because you know so many old movies and so many references, and I feel like your family really kept you up to speed on TV shows and classics. Whereas for me, I still to this day haven't seen Titanic or...
Which we have to fix. That's a good Weird or Normal.
What's the Run, Forrest, Run? I haven't seen that.
Nicole hasn't seen...
I watch Disney Channel. That's about it.
Nicole hasn't seen Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Classic. Nicole hadn't seen Pulp Fiction until I showed her Pulp Fiction, and she probably still can't even remember it, and I don't think she finished it all the way through.
I wasn't a fan.
That's one of the best movies out there. Nicole hasn't seen Titanic, which is so...
weird.
That is just beyond me. And you like Leonardo DiCaprio as an actor.
Yeah.
Right? So that's
I would like that movie.
Yeah, we should watch it tonight. That's what we should do.
It's long. Anyways.
Lint in the belly button. A little bit weird if it's happening regularly. If it's every once in a while, I don't think that's weird. But if it's all the time... you might need to shower maybe a little bit better. Maybe open that belly button up, run some water in there. Did you make that up? I feel like you made that up.
No,
nobody
someone
messaged you.
messaged me about that.
Okay.
Now they're going to feel really bad that you just said that I made that up.
Why? Did they say they do this every day or that it just happens?
That it happens regularly.
That it happens regularly. Well, it doesn't happen regularly for me. I would say that's a little bit more on the weird side.
Well, it was really weird. It was really coincidental because I thought that I saw you picking your belly button last night, but that's not what you were doing. So that's how I remembered.
Oh, yeah, no. I wasn't picking my belly button last night. I would be straight up about it if I was. I just wasn't, though.
Oh, man. I'm just, tired right now. Slap happy.
Anyway, thank you guys so much. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. The easiest way is on Apple Podcasts. You can listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, and you can always go to www.cococalientepodcast.com, and you can check out our merchandise there. Don't forget to follow us at Coco Caliente Podcast on Instagram and at Coco Caliente Pod on Twitter.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy Podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy Podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy Podcast on your podcast app.